With this build, we wanted to definitely make an impression. We wanted to take the Pan America, which is intended to be an adventure bike, but everything about it and all of the reviews that you read say that it does okay in the dirt, but it seems to be a phenomenal street machine. Lots of people want to see this in a street tracker or some sort of Harley-based sport bike. My name is Justin Coleman. I'm the custodial engineer at FXR Division in Phoenix, Arizona. My business partner, Chris Staub, and I started FXR Division in 2013, focusing primarily on the FXR market. That has grown and evolved as trends change and things go in different directions. So a lot of that has gone into performance baggers, which we have kind of been on the forefront of that as well. And now we're moving kind of into this Pan America market with the help of Harley Davidson on that with this HD 120 build that we're doing with them and for Born Free. We've built road glides, we've built Softails, we've built all of the other platforms that are currently available with Harley, and we wanted a new challenge, and this is kind of the future of where Harley is most likely headed. We felt this was a great opportunity for us to jump out ahead of it and kind of forge the way for anybody else that is interested in doing something different with the Pan America platform. Yeah, from the beginning we knew exactly what we wanted to do with it as far as we wanted to take it from an adventure bike into a performance touring bike, performance bagger, whatever label you have for it. We knew from the beginning that's what we wanted to do. So the idea was to take that bike, strip it down to the bare minimum, just basically keeping the chassis, swing arm. We replaced all of the suspension. The only thing left on it is the drivetrain, the main portions of the frame, and the factory swing arm. Everything from there, we custom one-off design the whole subframe, billet subframe, trees, all of the componentry to hold all the fairing and the bags and everything as far as that goes. Some of these parts that we designed and that we are doing are going to be production parts. That wasn't necessarily our intention in the beginning, it's just kind of worked out that way. But with all of these custom builds, we don't really set out to create product with them. We just set out to push the brand further, push ourselves further, and keep that creative juice flowing, and from that comes a lot of product at times, but that's never really the intention. Just kind of a byproduct of us trying to push ourselves and help push the industry forward. This entire bike was done in 4 months, so there was a lot of 3D modeling time, a lot of programming time for the CNC stuff. No room for any error, because if you missed it on the first mark, then we got to make adjustments, remachine things, reorder material, etc. Just wasting time that we don't have. The timeline just in general was a huge factor in this and a huge challenge from the beginning. One of my personal greatest challenges was the fuel tank. It was probably the most challenging fuel tank that gas tank that I've ever built, just because of the way it mounts and all of the components that are underneath it and sit on top of the frame, whether it be the airbox, electronics, all of these types of things that have to be built around. Specifically the way it mounts to the frame is very different. Any kind of movement when I would weld things, it just made everything to where it didn't line up at all anymore. So that was a huge challenge for me, and it was a back and forth where I had to walk away from it multiple times and then come back to it with a fresh face to not want to smash it onto the ground. There's a large amount of people that contributed to this build and making it happen in a short amount of time, and just making it happen in general. Brian from TPJ Concepts, him and I have been close friends for a lot of years. As soon as this thing came about, we knew we wanted to do a bunch of machine parts. He had recently bought a new CNC machine and was playing around, kind of learning to use it and do these things. He's had the machine less than a year, and if you see the parts that are on it, outstanding. Phenomenal, especially how far he's come in that short amount of time to be able to do the pieces that are on it is crazy. Couldn't be happier with what he did, and he busted his ass for the last 4.5 months to do this. Obviously Andy at Flying Iron Designs always comes through with us on the paint. There's no one that we trust more with our paint work on that. As always, he came through on this, and the paint is phenomenal. Mike at CMP Motorcycles in Phoenix helped tremendously with the exhaust. He had all of the pieces that we needed to be able to put that exhaust together. That whole exhaust I pieced it all together, tacked it together, and then my brother stepped in and welded the entire thing out for me. Because consistently weld anywhere near the amount that I used to, so I had to have someone who does it regularly and has surpassed my welding ability at this point anyway, so I handed that off to him once it was fit and put together. All the guys at Saddlemen, we could not do it without those guys for sure. They were a tremendous help in getting us, helping us get parts, making introductions through the Harley side of things. The fairing was a project between us and them, and Heath Penner put in lots of time of his own just to help get that thing dialed in. We brought the bike out here, custom making the seat for us and putting in all the extra effort to do the seat. So just, as always, above and beyond, with those guys for sure. There's just a lot of people that always come through for us. All the guys at our shop, jumping in, lending a hand, offering their help in any way they can, whether it be making bracketry, machining spacers, whatever it is. Like, they're just, the guys at Bare Knuckle Performance, those guys came through making axles, custom axles for us. So they're going to turn it into a parts line now, but we got the first set of axles and the first rotors that they're doing for these bikes. They're now going to be production parts. They did us a radial mount rear caliper bracket to get rid of that cheesy little brake that it had on it from the factory and put the same Brembo radial mount caliper on the rear. So now you have legitimate stopping power all the way around. Yeah.